Right, folks? Transfer deadline day has come and gone, and I can't lie, that was grim. Honestly, it's hard to put into words just how disheartening that whole experience was as a Celtic supporter. We went into the summer needing to build on something strong. Champions League money in the bank, the league in the bag, and a chance to actually kick on and maybe do some damage in Europe. But here we are, sitting after deadline day, feeling like we've taken about 5 steps back. If you'd told me back in June that we'd end the window like this, I'd have laughed at you. But somehow, the boards managed to fumble it worse than anyone thought possible. Let's just get right into it. First off, the big name we'd been linked with, Kasper Dolberg. That one disappeared quick. Ajax came in and wrapped it up almost immediately. 10 million euros, deal done, and off he goes to Amsterdam for his medical. That was the guy a lot of us were pinning hopes on. A proper striker with experience, someone to lead the line. And before the day had even got going, he was gone. That sent Celtic into full-on scramble mode, and it was embarrassing to watch unfold. Suddenly, we were being linked with anyone and everyone, like we were just pulling names out of a hat. Sika Mara from Strasbourg scored once in over 700 minutes in League One last season. That clearly didn't happen. Then came talk of David Datro Fofana from Chelsea, only for it to come out that he was heading to Charlton instead. Charlton, by the way, didn't even get him in the end, but still, we were apparently second choice to them. Think about that. Celtic Football Club, second to Charlton Athletic. Adam Ida's move to Swansea was confirmed too. 5-year deal, 6 million rising to 7. Gone. And that one stung, because Brendan Rodgers had just told us, not even 3 days earlier, that Ida wouldn't be leaving unless we had a replacement lined up. So what happened? He left, and the replacement? Nowhere to be seen. It's one thing losing players. That happens. But to go back on your words so blatantly, it's just insulting to the fans. Then we hear Kelechi Iheanacho's name again. That's familiar, isn't it? Linked with him in January, didn't happen. Now we're back in for him, because once again, Brendan knows him from Leicester. Classic move. Players not doing much. Contracts up at Sevilla, spent the second half of last season on loan at Middlesbrough, and picked Borough over us, by the way. Didn't exactly shine there either. But now, with his contract terminated, he's a free agent. So technically, we could still sign him after the window. That's assuming he wants to come, of course. And frankly, who would blame him if he didn't? Because here's the thing. Every club, every agent in Europe, probably the world, knows we're desperate. Desperate for a striker. Desperate for some kind of plan. So what does that do? Drives prices up. Makes players think twice. We've got Pumas sniffing around Iheanacho, some Turkish clubs too, and you just get the feeling that if he gets any other decent offer, he'll take it. And honestly, I wouldn't even be angry at him for it. The state we're in right now is not exactly a great sales pitch. So that's the striker situation, and somehow, we've ended the window even weaker up front than we were going in. And I didn't think that was possible. I genuinely thought we were already at our weakest. But nope, the boards managed to find a new low. Credit where it's due, eh? Now, let's talk about the one actual signing we made on deadline day. Sebastian Tenekti. A winger from Hammarby, Swedish League, £5.2 million. That's not nothing, by the way. That's a decent outlay. He's 23, mostly plays on the left, but can supposedly operate on both sides. Brendan seems keen, says he's versatile, can offer something different. And to be fair, a lot of folk have said he might turn out to be a real talent. And I hope he is, because God knows we need it. But the timing of the signing, the circumstances, it's just unfair on the lad. He's walking into a club that's on fire, not in a good way, and he's immediately being met with frustration and anger from the support. Not at him, obviously, but at the situation. It's not his fault, but it's hard to properly welcome a new player when everyone's just raging about what hasn't happened. Hopefully, the fans give him the time and space to settle in, because if he hits the ground running, we'll need him big time. Then there's Young. Poor guy was sitting in Birmingham waiting for the green light on his move, and it never came. Whether it was Birmingham dragging their heels or Celtic backing out, who knows? But now he's staying, despite being that close to the exit. How does that make him feel? And how's that going to affect the dressing room? I'm sure the squad is absolutely buzzing to know a player who was ready to leave is now sticking around. Great for morale. Stephen Welsh was the other big movement on deadline day, loaned out to Motherwell for the season. And that's about it. That's what we did. One in. A winger. No strikers. No right winger. No depth at fullback. It was genuinely one of the most pathetic deadline days I can remember. And it's not just about the players we didn't sign. It's about the message it sends. This board had the perfect opportunity this summer to show ambition. To say, right, we've done the hard work. Now let's go further. But instead, they showed us once again that they're happy to coast. Happy to sit on their hands and hope for the best. And the worst part? This isn't new. We've seen it before. We've felt this apathy creeping in year after year, and somehow, we let ourselves believe it would be different this time. Let's not kid ourselves. This squad is full of holes. The striker situation is a disaster. The right wing is basically non-existent. And now we're heading into the Europa League, a competition that actually matters, with a front line that looks like it belongs in the reserve squad. And don't even get me started on the African Cup of Nations. Because guess what? Tenekti? Gone. Wisha? Gone. Iheanacho, if he signs? Probably gone too. December to January, our entire attacking threat could be wiped out. And what's the plan? Pray Hoda comes back from injury in time. Hope Young has a personality transplant? I look at this squad and I genuinely ask myself, what's the plan? What's Brendan Rodgers going to do in 10 days when the league resumes? Who does he start up front? Who plays wide? The left side's overloaded, but the right is barren. And you just know we're going to see Maeda shoehorned into the middle again, or some poor youth prospect thrown in too early. It's the same story every time. Make do and mend, patch it up, hope for the best. And the thing is, I still back Brendan as a manager. I really do. I think he's a top-level coach, and I believe he can steady the ship. But you can't steer a boat with holes in the hull. The support is restless, the players look lost, and the board's sitting back with a smirk, counting the Champions League money. It's insulting. It's draining. And most of all, it's avoidable. This didn't have to happen. We were in a position of strength. For the first time in years, we had the resources, the stability, the reputation to go and build something. And instead, we've fumbled the bag. Again. So now we're sitting here, stuck with a squad that looks half-finished, full of gaps, and honestly, just feels thrown together. And I think the worst part is that we all saw it coming. This wasn't some surprise disaster that hit us out of nowhere. We've been watching it unfold, slowly, painfully, all summer. And yet, somewhere in the back of our minds, we kept thinking, they'll sort it. Surely they'll sort it. But they didn't. They never do. They wait till the last minute, scramble for options, and when it falls apart, we get the same old lines. We tried, but the right player wasn't available, or we won't sign someone for the sake of it. And I'm sorry, but that's not good enough anymore. You can't sit on millions of pounds of Champions League revenue, rake in more money than any other club in the country, and then cry poverty or pretend there's no value out there. Other clubs are finding players. Rangers, for all their own issues, spent more on deadline day than we did all summer. Think about that. We've had 3 years of European money coming in, record commercial deals, and still, we've somehow ended up with a squad that feels weaker than it did when the season ended. It's genuinely baffling. And you look around the park, it's not just the front three that's in trouble. The fullback situation is just as bad. Greg Taylor's still getting minutes, and while he's been a good servant, let's be honest, he should be a squad option at best. The left back we did bring in, Srirachi, might be decent. He showed a wee bit at Ibrox when he came on. But again, it's a loan with no option to buy. That's not planning. That's short-term panic. It's the same across the back line. Simpson Pusey? What's going on there? Nobody knows. Trustees barely featured. Inamura, we've not even bothered to find him a loan move. It's like someone just forgot he was here. The midfield, which was maybe our strongest area, now looks like another weak spot. McGregor's still reliable, of course he is, but he can't do everything himself. Hatate looks like his head's been turned, or he's just totally off the boil. Bernardo's been alright, Macau's barely had a look in, and Negri, well, who even knows what to expect from him? The balance isn't there. There's no clear identity in that middle of the park anymore. It used to be quick, sharp, attacking football. Now it's ponderous, sideways, and full of indecision. And that feeds right into the attack. Because the attacking options we do have, if you can call them that, are a mess. On the right, we've got Forrest, who's past his best, and Young, who was nearly sold before the window closed. That's it. On the left, it's overcrowded. Maeda, Balikwisha, Tooney, Hoda when he's fit. It's like we've gone all in on left-sided wingers and just ignored the rest of the pitch. Then up front, we've got Yamada, Kinney, and Osman. Now, I don't mean to disrespect any of them, but none of those names strike fear into European defenses. None of them are ready to carry the weight of a Celtic number 9. We let Ida go, we didn't replace him, and now we're left hoping a free agent might save the season. That's where we are. And it's not just about numbers, it's about quality. Brendan keeps talking about adding quality to the squad, not just bodies, and I agree with that. But you have to actually do it. Where's that quality? Where are the players that take us to the next level? Who replaces Kyogo if he's injured? Who's going to give us goals when the chips are down? It can't just be hope and vibes. That's not a strategy. That's a wish. And then, as if it wasn't bad enough, we've got the African Cup of Nations coming up. December 21st to January 18th. And we're going to be without Tenekti, Balikwisha, and probably Iheanacho if he does end up signing. That's 3 of our key attacking options, all away at once, during one of the busiest periods of the season. There's even a derby in there. And right now, we've got absolutely no clue who's going to step up in their absence. What's the plan for that? Again, there is none. It's just fingers crossed, and hope someone magically appears in January. I know some folk are saying we're top of the league, 6 points clear, and to just calm down. And look, I get that. I get wanting to see the positives. And it's true. We're still the strongest team in the country, on paper. But that gap is closing. You can see it in the performances. You can feel it in the mood. Rangers are still inconsistent. But they've shown a bit of ambition in the market. If they click, and we keep playing like this, don't be surprised if that 6-point gap vanishes real quick. The frustrating thing is that it all feels avoidable. That's the killer. Nobody's asking the board to throw money around recklessly. We're not demanding superstar signings. We just want a bit of ambition, a bit of planning, a bit of vision. That's what's missing. There's no direction, no identity. We don't know what this team is trying to be. And I'm not even sure Brendan knows anymore. Because he's clearly frustrated. You can hear it in his voice every time he speaks. You can see it in the way he's managing the games, like he's trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. There's been all this noise online about whether he'll walk. Brendan Rodgers will be gone by morning, folks saying. And maybe that's just social media panic, but I wouldn't blame him if he did. I don't think he will, by the way. I think he's here for the season. He knows the optics of walking out again would be brutal. But still, imagine being him. Coming back to Celtic, expecting support, expecting backing, and then getting handed this mess. And then being told to make it work. What's even worse is that the fans are just being taken for granted. That's the truth of it. The board knows we'll show up. They know we'll fill the stadium. They know we'll buy the shirts and pay the season ticket renewals. So they don't feel the pressure to deliver. And that's where the disconnect lies. Because we're ambitious. We want Celtic to reach its full potential. We believe this club can be a force in Europe, not just a domestic machine. And we've seen glimpses of that. Last season, we went toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich. It felt like the start of something. Like maybe we were finally turning the corner. But here we are, 6 months later, and it's like that never happened. All that progress, gone. We haven't built on it. We've let it rot. And for what? To save a few quid? To sit on the money and hope nobody notices? It's not good enough. Not for a club of our size. Not for a fan base as passionate and loyal as this one. We deserve better. And honestly, we expect better. Brendan can say whatever he wants in his next press conference. I already know how it'll go. He'll talk about unity. About working with what we have. About backing the players. And fair enough. He's trying to keep the ship afloat. But it's not enough anymore. It's not enough to ask the fans to trust the process when there clearly isn't a process. We've given the board chance after chance. We've been patient. And this window? This feels like the last straw for a lot of people. Because we're not just talking about a disappointing window. We're talking about years of missed opportunities. Years of coasting. Years of lowering the bar. And it's catching up to us now. You can see it in the stands. You can feel the apathy. That's the worst part. It's not even anger anymore. It's just fatigue. People are tired of hoping. Tired of waiting. Tired of supporting a club that doesn't seem to care as much as we do. And that's the heart of it. We care. We care so much. That's why it hurts. That's why we're so vocal. That's why we're angry. Because we see what this club could be, and we're watching it waste away under the weight of its own complacency. So where do we go from here? That's the question, innit? Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are starting to echo around Glasgow's footballing circles, and one name seems to be at the center of it all: Brendan, the man at the helm of Celtic FC. Rumors have grown stronger in recent weeks, suggesting that the respected manager could be preparing to step down from his role at Parkhead, leaving behind a legacy that has stirred both admiration and debate in equal measure. Supporters who have watched him guide the club through difficult fixtures, local derbies, and European nights are now left wondering if the time has come for a change in leadership. While nothing official has been announced by the club or by Brendan himself, the silence surrounding his future only adds fuel to the speculation that his tenure could be drawing to a close. In pubs, on supporters' buses, and across social media, the conversations all circle back to the same question: is the Celtic boss ready to walk away? And if so, why now, when the season still hangs delicately in the balance with titles and pride at stake? Those who follow the Scottish game know that timing is everything, and Brendan's potential departure could not be more intriguing. The manager's reputation is undeniable, having previously brought structure, tactical clarity, and a brand of football that often delighted those inside Celtic Park. Yet, behind the scenes, murmurs point to a sense of fatigue, a possible feeling that he has taken the team as far as he can under current circumstances. The domestic game has always been demanding, with Rangers breathing down Celtic's neck in the race for dominance, and European competition exposing the limits of Scottish budgets against continental giants. For a man of Brendan's stature, the question naturally arises: does he see greater challenges, or perhaps fresher opportunities, elsewhere? Insiders claim discussions have taken place, though no concrete destination has surfaced. What makes this even more captivating is the way supporters interpret every subtle gesture, every press conference word, and every team selection as a possible clue toward his intentions. It is a drama that fits seamlessly into the passionate, often unpredictable world of Scottish football. If indeed Brendan does decide to step away from the Celtic dugout, the ripple effect across the Scottish game would be immense. Rival clubs would immediately sense a shift in balance, perhaps even an opening to reassert themselves in the domestic race. Within Celtic itself, the task of replacing such an established figure would be enormous, with expectations high from a fan base that has grown accustomed to consistent success on home soil. Potential successors would already be weighed in hushed tones, with names floated ranging from rising young coaches to seasoned tacticians who might be tempted by the lure of Glasgow's footballing cauldron. The Celtic board, known for carefully balancing financial realities with sporting ambitions, would face a delicate moment of decision-making. Choosing the wrong candidate could unsettle the squad and diminish the hard-earned momentum, while a bold appointment could inject new energy at precisely the right moment. In the meantime, every match, every goal, and every victory or setback will be scrutinized for signs of whether Brendan is truly on his way out. Beyond the tactical and administrative implications, there is also the emotional weight this rumor carries. For many Celtic supporters, Brendan has become more than just a coach. He represents a figure who has embodied resilience and belief in the club's philosophy. His connection with the players has often been visible in their spirited performances, while his relationship with the fans has had its highs and lows, as is natural in such a high-pressure environment. Some argue that his departure would leave a void difficult to fill, while others believe it could be the spark needed to refresh the team's approach, especially in European campaigns where frustrations have lingered. The Scottish footballing culture thrives on such speculation, where the line between fact and rumor is blurred, and where anticipation builds with every new whisper. It is in these moments that football transcends the pitch, becoming part of the social fabric of the city, sparking debates in homes, workplaces, and cafes alike. For those invested in Celtic's journey, the idea of Brendan moving on is not just a professional shift. It is a personal matter tied deeply to identity, pride, and community. As the days unfold, the uncertainty will either fade with an official announcement or grow more intense as silence stretches on. In the unpredictable theater of Scottish football, no storyline captures attention quite like that of a potential managerial departure, especially one involving a figure as influential as Brendan. The speculation may prove unfounded, or it may crystallize into a moment that alters the direction of Celtic FC for years to come. Either way, the chatter will not subside, for it reflects the passion and intensity that make football in Scotland unlike anywhere else. For now, the supporters will watch every development with bated breath, interpreting each statement and each matchday lineup as a possible signpost toward the future. The city of Glasgow has always thrived on football drama, and this possible exit only adds another layer to the ever-evolving narrative of its beloved club. Whether Brendan stays or goes, the legacy of his time will linger, and the debates will rage on long after the final whistle of his tenure eventually sounds, whenever that may be. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.